What it do, MiyaVale crew, and welcome back to the channel, y'all. If you're not already a part of the family, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, share this video, turn that bell on so you guys can get my notifications and see my new videos when I upload. But the video that I'm going to be making today, I actually did a poll in my community post, and I named like different things you guys wanted to see, different story times, and you guys voted. And you guys voted that you guys wanted to hear my experiences as a CNA. So I'm gonna get right into the video. Now, when I tell you I've had, by the way, I'm at work. That's why I'm in scrubs. I have my name tag on, and I'm actually having dinner with one of my clients right now. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this video. It's perfect. I'm at work, so why not make it about work? I actually wrote a list of different experiences I've had, because it's just so many. It's like, I know I'm gonna make this video and be like, oh man, I forgot. Oh man, I forgot. So this is probably gonna be part 1, and I'm gonna do it part 2, part 3, and so forth, because I'm still in this job. So crazy things happen all the time. But I got like my top number ones that I thought off the top of my head that I was like, I gotta share these first, because these were off the chain experiences. But one of the things I'm going to share with you guys is, first I'm going to share the pros and the cons of being a CNA. Okay, now CNA, if you guys don't know what that stands for Certified Nurse's Assistant. Now, being a CNA, I can work in the hospital. Well, pretty much I work in the hospital, I work in homes, I work in facilities, but I'm not actually assigned to a facility. I work with agencies because I could pick my own schedule. I get to move around. I'm not always in the same place. I'm always with different people, experiencing new experiences. Working with the agency, that's how I was able to experience all that I'm gonna be sharing with you guys. But yeah, I'm gonna go forth with my pros. I actually took some notes. I got my pros and I got my cons. I actually took notes, y'all, for this video, so props to me, right? I'm trying to get prepared. But pros of working as a CNA. I could work anywhere, like I was telling you guys. With my certificates, I could literally go all over the United States and get a job as long as I apply and have my paperwork up to date. I'm good to go. I could work wherever. Pay varies. Now, when you get with an agency, the starting pay, I'm not going to tell you guys the starting pay because it really depends on the agency, but they have a starting pay. But depending on the client, you can make $2, $5, $6, $10 more. You know what I mean? So pay varies with client, depending on their needs, depending on how much the company is charging them. It varies. Now, with my agency, see, I work for 2 agencies. One of my agency pays every week, and my other agency pays every 2 weeks. So, you know, there are agencies that pay every week. That's what I like. And some agencies don't take taxes, but you got to be very careful with that, because when it comes time to do your taxes, you got to end up paying back. But yeah, and I can work when I want. So pretty much right now, I'm actually on a permanent case right now. I did 3 days last week, 4 days this week, and then my permanent is going to be 3 days. But I can pretty much work when I want. Like, I work with this agency and I also work with another agency, and whenever they get cases, they text me, and if I can do it, I push accept, and if I can't do it, I either ignore it or I press decline. So I literally can work when I want, and I can literally call them and be like, I'm only available this time, and they can find cases if they have cases to work with my availability, which I find very helpful, because you guys know I have a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 6-month-old. So some days I can't work and some days I can work. So it comes in handy to be able to tell them what days I'm available. You know what I mean? Now, cons. The cons of working as a CNA if you don't work in a facility. Now, I'm talking on my experience as like working with agencies and stuff. Now, I can sign up with as many agencies as I want. Literally, like I can work for 10 agencies if I want, just so I can be collecting work here and there. But right now, at this moment, I'm only working with 2 agencies because I feel comfortable with these agencies, and they've been really good to me. One pays every week, one pays every 2 weeks, and as you guys can see, I'm on a permanent case right now. Plus, I'm still getting work from my other job. But here are the cons. Sometimes there's no work. Sometimes you literally have a full week worth of work. If you don't have a permanent client. Some weeks you have a full week's worth, great paycheck. The next week you might not have work. Then the next week you might work 2 days. Then the next week you might not work. Like, it really varies depending on season and your clients, because our clients, they tend to pass away sometimes. It's natural, so we do end up losing clients. Now, another con, you end up with mean clients sometimes. Like, those clients that like hit you, spit on you, call you names, like those type of clients. But with my agency, if I go to a case, they know I'm a good worker anyway. So if I call and I tell them like I cannot go back, then they know it's like something serious, like, So that's another situation. You also run into nasty situations like having to clean people and stuff like that. But of course, that's part of our job description. So, you shouldn't be surprised if you have to, but it is nasty. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wrote down. As I do a part 2, you guys will hear more, but I'm gonna get right into my story times, because I spent 5 minutes explaining what CNA is and the pros and cons, which you guys just wanted to hear story time. So my first story time that I'm gonna tell, it was when this was in 2014, okay? This was when I was pregnant with my son. Now, I used to do private duty when I was pregnant with my son. My mother-in-law got me the job. She got me this nice woman. She was like 97 years old. I used to go and I used to watch her for maybe 6 hours a day, take her shopping, give her meds, cook for her, clean for her. Everything up here was fine. She was just 97 years old. She could walk. Well, no, she couldn't walk far. She could walk around the house, but when we used to go out, she needed a wheelchair. So I remember, now this lady used to talk to me so nasty, but I was dealing with it because I was soon to have my baby. I was probably like 7-8 months. I was soon due. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stick through it, because I know once I go and I have my baby, I don't have to deal with her anymore, and I'm not going to go back. So I was just dealing with it because that's like the only thing I had at that time. But I remember this one day, we decided to go to Publix. I drove her to Publix. Now, mind you, I live in Florida, okay? I was in Fort Lauderdale at the time, down by the beach. It had to be probably almost 100 degrees, and it was in the summertime. This was probably around July, okay? Summer. It was probably like 100 degrees in her car. She had the nerve to tell me that I can't turn on the AC and I had to keep the windows up, okay? So on the way there, I was suffocating. We went Publix shopping, whatever. I'm like, okay, maybe she's in a better mood because, she got her groceries and she got what she needed done. We get in the car and I turn on the AC and she had a complete fit, right? Mind you, I'm driving, almost 8 months pregnant, and suffocating because the windows are up and the AC is not on, just for her not to waste gas. And the lady had the money for gas. Like, it's ridiculous what she put me through. I think it was on purpose, or she was just losing her marbles. But so we're driving and we didn't make it onto the main road yet. We're still leaving Publix. We're on like a little street to get to the main road. This lady starts leaning over and punching me in the arm. You really want to do that? Like, I'm driving. You really want to lean over and punch me in the arm? Boy, when I tell you, my pregnancy hormones was telling me to smack the shit out of this lady. Excuse my language. To smack the shit out of her. I was literally going to backhand her, and then my senses came to mind and was like, just pull over. Just pull over and call your mother-in-law and ask her, what do you do in this type of situation? So the lady was punching me in the arm, and I was trying everything I can not to hurt this lady, because then I started thinking, I can't go to jail because I might end up having my baby in jail. I'm going to go to jail for a long time. Everything was just way more important than getting this lady, okay? So I pulled over, I stepped out the car, I called my mother-in-law, and I said, what do I do? This lady's hitting me, and I really don't want to put my hands on her, and I really don't want to leave her right here in the middle of the street, because I damn sure will. My mother-in-law said, call the police. She wants to hit you, call the police. So I called the police. The police didn't even have to ask me anything. The only thing they asked me was what happened, and I said she put her hands on me. Obviously, they can see that I'm pregnant because I'm almost 8 months pregnant. My belly's out to here. So They literally asked me, they told her to step out the car. Well, to sit on the edge of the car. She was like sitting in the seat, but she had the door open with her feet out. So literally, I just called the cops because I wanted them to like scare her, kind of like tell her, like pretty much like scare her into telling her like, no, you can't do this. So they asked me, they pulled me aside and they asked me, they said, do you want her to go to jail because she can go to jail for battery or for aggravated assault? They said something like that. And I looked at them and I said, now mind you, I was mad, but I have a heart. I looked at them and I said, that lady is 97 years old and you're really asking me if I want you guys to take her to jail? She can barely walk. Where are you going to put her? Like, you're going to leave her in a wheelchair in jail? Like, really? I just wanted you guys to talk to her and like scare her, knock some sense into her or something. Anyway, they were like, okay, I guess they scared her and knocked some sense because she was acting like nothing happened. Literally, I drove her all the way home. Nothing, like she's acting like nothing happened, like talking to me so nice, like nothing happened, right? So I leave. I come back the next day. I pull up to security. Now, mind you, I went to school with the security guard, so we never talked or anything like that, but like if there was like an update on her, he would let me know or whatever. So I pull up and the security is like, oh, she's saying that you hit her yesterday. What? No. She got this story all mixed up, buddy. She was hitting me. Mind you, if you hit somebody that's old, you're going to jail for a long time. So that is not a rumor that I'm going to sit there and play with and have this lady spreading around the building, having people looking at me some type of way. So I go upstairs and I tell her, I said, why would you tell the security that I hit you if you're the one who hit me? Going ballistic on me. She just went ballistic on me. When I tell you she took her walker and tried to hit me in my stomach multiple times, mind you, I'm pregnant, okay? I don't play that. My first baby at that, I don't know what could possibly happen. Took her walker and started like jerking her walker, hitting me. Mind you, her hands are in the walker. So as she's jerking the walker is cutting up her hands. Mind you, she's 37 years old. Her skin is like this. Thinner than this, okay? On your hand. Jerking the freaking walker. When I tell you all her skin was like ripping off, she was just bleeding all over the place. Another situation where I was like, what do I do? Mind you, this is when I first like kind of got into... I've worked in an agency, but this is like my first time with a private client because usually you just report everything to the agency and they handle it. But working with a private client is different because they're literally in your hands. They're not under an agency. I don't work for an agency. It's private. So I could get in more trouble if something happens to her. You know what I mean? Because they will hold me accountable and I'm not trying to have that. Not almost 8 months pregnant, I'm not. So... going ballistic. So I'm like, great, what do I do now? Like the lady's bleeding all over the place. Like, what do I do? I call my mother-in-law and she's like, call the ambulance, call the police, call the fire department, call the front desk, call everybody. You need to save your... boy, oh boy. I'm like, great. Like, why is this happening to me? Why me? Like, why me? Why not with the lady before me that used to watch her? Like, what the heck is going on? Anyway, I call the ambulance, I call the police, I call downstairs, I call the fire department. Everybody starts rushing, running in. What happened? What happened? I said, I have no idea. I walked in. She was very aggravated and angry. She took her walker and tried to hit me in my stomach multiple times. Mind you, paramedics is talking to me while, like, she's bleeding all over the place. Like, they're not even focused on her. I feel bad for laughing, but that lady was very, very mean. And they pulled me outside, and they're like, oh, I forgot what she said. She said, oh, I don't want to go to the hospital. I want to stay home. And they said, oh, trust me, you're not coming back here. And trust me, you're not going to a hospital. And I'm like, great, they're going to take her to like a psychotic hospital. I don't know where they're taking her. And then she had a cat. So she's worrying about the whole cat the whole time. She's worrying about the cat the whole time, right? So I'm in the hallway and I'm waiting for them to finish. I'm like pacing back and forth, like, what the heck am I going to do? Like, what is going on? Like, what am I going to do? So I call my mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law is like, when you leave there, go straight to the police department and make a report stating everything that happened so that you can save your behind. I'm like, all right, bet. That's the first place I'm going because I'm not trying to get in no trouble for nothing I didn't do. So, worrying about the cat. The police and the ambulance come out. Oh, she has a cat here. What would you like me to do? What would you like me to do? what are you gonna do with the cat? She's really worrying about the cat. I said, listen, I watch her for a couple of days at a time, and I'm not bringing a cat to my house. I said, I will feed the cat. I will make sure that the cat has enough food, and I will lock up her house. And yeah, that's the most I can do. He said, okay, that's perfect. So they took her in the ambulance or whatever. I fed the damn cat, locked up, went straight to the police station, made a report. I was in the police station probably for like an hour before I got called to make a report. I went, spoke to them. They said, listen, she's 97 years old. Even if, you know, it was a different scenario and we were to go to court, the judge wouldn't, like, there's nothing that can be done. She's 97 years old. And at that age, she's not, how do I say this? She's not capable of standing up for herself pretty much at 97 years old. Like, they're not going to believe anything that she's saying at that age. So it, like, doesn't make sense. Yeah, so my bad, y'all. I got a text message and I was reading it. It was kind of important. So yeah, that's one of the stories. I would never forget her name. I would never forget where she lived, because that was like my first, and it's crazy because that was like my first horrific, not horrific, but that was my first like crazy experience on this job. And it kind of traumatized me to the point where I was like, I don't want to do this job anymore if this is like what happens. Like, that's why I like said this one number one, because this is kind of like my first like experiencing crazy. Now I experience crazy all the time. I'm so used to it. I know how to handle it already. Like, it's nothing to me now. Now I prepare myself for crazy when I go to places, but I was not expecting that. Not expecting that. So I was kind of like traumatized to go back to work for a little bit, but then my mother-in-law, she does the same job I do. So she's like, no, they're not all the same, and you're going to be with an agency. So if you don't like that person, you could just get rid of them and get somebody else. And yeah, I've been doing this ever since. And it's, yeah, I've tried working other jobs, and for some reason I always fall back to this job. So I feel like this is like my calling, and this is where I'm supposed to be right now, because I do love helping people. And yeah, there's a lot of pros to this job, as well as cons, like every other job. But it's just, this is where I've landed. So I don't know. Yeah, I met wonderful people. I've met crazy people. I've had good experiences, bad experiences, sad experiences. But I think I should leave this. I'm going to do different story times for each of these people. Like, I think so. Because I spoke a lot in this video. In this first video, I spoke a lot. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna end this video right here, and then my part two, I'm just gonna get straight to the story times, because this one I was kind of like telling you guys about the job description and like the pros and cons. But my next part two is gonna be about my other story times. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for stopping by. Stay tuned for our part two. All my information is in the description down below. Go ahead and email me. Let's stay connected, y'all. And remember, if you did not already subscribe, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the family. And I'll see you guys in my next video.